water is a really hot topic. I think that unfortunately people see the plastic issue quite often because it's very visual. But and water issues are something that is not so tangible for most people because you basically turn on the tap and you used to have water. If you care about yourself and you understand what it means to take care of yourself, then you will care about your interaction with others. It's coming from a desire to take care of myself, but think in a more holistic way. Of course, I take care of Mother Nature because Nature is going to give back. Of course, I take care of my interaction with others, because I'm going to get it back. You know, the more you give, the more you're going to receive, often in ways you don't expect.
So welcome back, everyone, to Khunapong vlog. As I'm in Bali now, I found Alex Tsuk to come on my vlog interview. And the reason is because plastic is a big issue in Bali. And in fact, Bali is the first province to ban plastic across Indonesia. So we're going to talk a lot about what he's doing at RefillMyBottle. And we're going to talk about his inspiration, how this app was started. Could you share a little bit about yourself and why are you doing RefillMyBottle?
Well, to start, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to this great initiative. I commend you for taking on that very important topic. I think water is a really hot topic. I think that unfortunately people see the plastic issue quite often because it's very visual. But and water issues are something that is not so tangible for most people because you basically turn on the tap and you used to have water. But interestingly, we can already realize that in some parts of the world, access to water is an issue. I mean, just this year, your audience probably know that in some parts of India, they just have millions of people that already all of a sudden didn't have access to water. And they had to decide randomly who could get water or not. So it's becoming a pressing issue around the world. Bali is no exception. There is not enough water under the ground. The water catchment is really poor. So there is not enough water. So what people do is they create wells and then just dig deeper year after year. And unfortunately, this is just postponing and making the issue even bigger. So I commend you for this initiative. I think it's a very important and pressing issue. Same with climate change. People talk a lot about being vegan and changing your consumption of overall. And you know, there is one aspect that is rarely mentioned when it comes to meat consumption is the quantity of water needed to produce a kilo of meat. Often we see the carbon footprint of the methane released by the cows, for instance. Then there is a transportation of the meat. But actually another big issue is all the water needed to produce meat and other elements. So that's another aspect of what you do. So RefillMyBottle is my journey. So the idea is very simple. You know, plastic bottles companies, they are not in the water business. They are in the plastic business. I mean, if you think about it, the idea of opening a plastic bottle, drinking and disposing it, it's an aberration. It's something that doesn't make sense. And it's really just convenience for most people. And it's become such a convenience that people don't even think about it. You know, that's how we have access to water for so many years and we don't even think about our consumption. But really, for a few seconds of getting over your thirst, the impact that you will have is quite huge. So the idea is fairly simple and straightforward. It's to place on a map all the places allowing anyone to refill their water bottle instead of and offering a tangible, simple solution, an alternative to the use of single-use plastic bottles.
Okay.
One thing I'd like to mention to start with, it doesn't have to be free. So often people say, well, it could be an issue for locals who could lose their jobs. No, it's very important that it's not necessarily free. It's up to the station to decide whether or not they want to charge for water. And in some parts of the world, Europe, for instance, you can access tap water. But even tap water, you know, you can drink from the tap. But it's not necessarily known to everybody where to refill. So if you go to Paris, London, or Rome, and you've got plastic bottles sold everywhere, and in some places, people just buy plastic bottles, put it in the fridge. out of convenience or lack of trust for their filtration system. Okay,
Right.
so this is also very valid in developed countries where we are mapping out public fountains and places where, you know, you're in Paris, where can I refill? Or I'm going to an airport, where can I refill? So that makes it very convenient. Of course, in developing countries like Indonesia, where we are, it's a pressing issue because people have, you know what people do? They usually boil water. They have filtration, but it's not widely spread yet. But or they use gallon water. So having that idea of, okay, how else can we have our relation towards drinking water? That's our mission with a very simple tool.
You make drinkable water become more accessible to everyone, and you started in Indonesia, now it's in Europe, right? So that's really spreading out right now. And when you mentioned about water fountain, I interview Greta on my blog as well, and she's working on water fountain, like beautiful ones, and she had it at the Amsterdam airport. So that these two, I kind of see it's like a perfect fit. Like the water stations or water tap water that are out there and people don't know where to get it, the app will help find them and refill their bottle. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, thank you. We're in 48 countries.
Oh,
So we've grown
now.
Yeah, so it's grown a lot. The fundamental idea is it's user generated content. So anyone with the phone downloading the app can add stations wherever they are. So you're in a restaurant that offers water, you can just add them, get the email of the place, or we get it, and we reach out to the owner, say, hey, would you be okay to be on the map? You're in Paris and you see a water fountain, you just add it in 3 clicks. So anyone can have a really tangible impact by refilling their bottle and no longer buying plastic bottles, but also contributing to other people being made aware of where they can refill their bottle.
Right.
So very simple. We also are working on ways for people to play with the app, so you can actually track your water consumption.
Okay.
You know, one of the key challenges is people just don't drink enough. So one thing I'd like to tell people is you need to drink 1 liter of water per 22 kilo of body weight. So that gives you an idea. Instead of saying you have to drink 3 liters, 2 liters, you know, 22 kilos, 1 liter. So you make the calculation for yourself. And with the app, you can track your consumption and knowing, okay, did I drink enough? Also, you earn points. So you're incentivized to actually check in every time you refill.
Right.
And when you check in, you can track your impact. So you can say at the end of the month, this is how many water bottles I have saved. And globally, we can see, okay, together, this is how many plastic bottles we have saved. Because in sustainability, you cannot change what you don't measure. So it's very important to measure impact. And of course, we honor the fact that people want to have a little bit of incentive to do it. So they earn points every time they refill, and they can redeem these points by getting some free stuff whenever they have refilled their water bottle enough. So it's also interesting for people to get motivation to refill.
Right, that's awesome. You connected a lot of dots, like make it sustainable, make it user friendly, and motivate people to use it, right? And then make water accessible. So that's kind of a combination of a lot of aspects that you're bringing together into one app that will help you get water in a public setting. So the inspiration for this is to help people drink more water, help reduce plastic water bottle usage, and also help people to have access to water. How about like the challenges that you face starting this RefillMyBottle app? Could you share a little bit on that?
Of course. I mean, every startup is facing challenges. So we're not for profit, but still we try to make it sustainable. So we are going to try to find ways to monetize so that the app is sustainable. The main problem is financial. Funding is one issue. So that's I'm funding it mostly. We have a few donors, but so to make it grow, funding is always a challenge. We have a team. We'd like to communicate more, social media coverage and ads and all this traditional marketing that needs to be done to bring awareness, and partnerships with airlines and magazines, and get the word out. So it's never enough. So we're actively looking for funding. If anyone listening and wants to get in touch, we have partnerships programs to do that. The other challenge we face is with people that are not in integrity, that are coming up and doing, seeing the potential, the financial potential being behind this initiative. So if you look at the similar initiatives around the world, you've got two types: the ones that are really not for profit, offering a tangible solution, doing it with integrity, and others that really have a game plan in mind and says, okay, well, this is big data we could collect here, and that has a value. And that we try to stay away with this kind of organization, because we do feel like it's almost a responsibility to the world to do it right. So we're trying to stay in integrity, not compromise, and at the same time remain sustainable. So that's never easy. And then of course, the everyday life of an app that has some things to improve, and yeah, the usual of any organization, and as they're growing fast. But yeah, overall, it's an amazing project. It's tangible impact. The reason I'm doing it is because it's solution oriented. The problem is when a lot of people are not complaining about the situation, but not necessarily doing anything about it. And I believe that we need to reduce the problem at the source. So for instance, I admire the people that are doing things around, dealing with waste, for instance. But I don't think that's the solution. That's not enough, because, if people keep producing waste and you just try to handle it, it's not going to work. So I really believe that, at least for me, I want my focus to be on reducing waste, and how can we reduce waste. And I find that that's an easy problem to tackle. There is no need for plastic bottles. It's just an aberration, and we could easily stop doing that. The similar way with single-use plastic bags, that doesn't make any sense anymore. So it's just about helping people change their mindsets, towards, just change relation towards that. And of course, there is like a bigger vision, which is to bring consciousness to people and allowing them to say, okay, just don't drink bottled water, which is, not charged water that has been maybe exposed to the sun, and then you don't know what you're drinking. Maybe you're drinking some plastic in it, and they've done crazy studies on how much plastic is actually, in a plastic bottle, water that you're drinking. But thinking, okay, let's bring consciousness every time I refill my bottle. Let's put a nice intention in my water, and whatever that I want to project for myself, for the world, and do that consciously as you refill, and have that act of actually refilling it. And then, connect with yourself. We are 72% water. Right. So if you're thinking this way, you're not only refilling this water bottle, you're also refilling this water bottle. So it's bringing a little bit of awareness and mindfulness in a very simple, straightforward thing you cannot avoid, which is drink water. So if you drink consciously, potentially you're gonna eat consciously, you're gonna interact with your friends, families in a more conscious way. And I think that's what the world needs. The world needs more presence and consciousness in every aspect. And if you're just aware of your behaviors, that could lead you to change some of them. So awareness is a big deal. So that's what I'm about.
Right. Thank you so much, Alex. That's a lot of information that I hope it's very helpful and interesting to people who are listening to here. And the last thing that I want to say here, because we are in Bali, I admire you that you're working on something to help Bali as a society to be better, starting something here, and now it's in Europe, in 48 countries that you say before. So hope this conversation is very helpful for everyone who is listening, and it's a pleasure to have you here again, Alex. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it too, and good luck with your project and for anyone working towards water issues around the world. So, Khop khun krap.
Thank you. Khop khun krap.